What I am about to tell you could change how you see your future. Not in some distant, abstract way. I mean your job, your savings, your children's careers. All of it hangs on what happens in the next few years, and almost nobody is talking about it honestly. You have heard about artificial intelligence. You have probably used ChatGPT. Maybe you think it is impressive. Maybe you think it is overhyped. But here's what you do not know. The people building these systems, the billionaires and the engineers and the executives, they are not just creating a tool. They are racing to build something that could replace human thinking entirely. And in that race, the safety mechanisms that were supposed to protect you have already been destroyed. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you something no one else will, a survival guide. Real, concrete steps you can take right now to protect yourself and your family from what is coming. And then, I'm going to tell you about a concept that keeps the smartest people in AI awake at night, a concept called the Last Invention. The idea that the machine we are building might be the final thing humanity ever needs to create, because after that, the machines will create everything else, including things we cannot imagine and possibly cannot control. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is at stake and what you can do about it. Let us begin.
So where does this leave you? You are not a billionaire. You do not sit on any corporate board. You cannot call up a senator and change policy over lunch. But that does not mean you are powerless. In fact, you have more leverage than you might think, but only if you start using it now. Here is your survival guide. Not a list of fantasies, real steps based on how power actually works. Step 1. Understand what you are giving away. Every time you type a message into ChatGPT or any AI chatbot, you are feeding the system. Your questions, your writing style, your interests, your fears, all of it becomes training data. I am not saying stop using these tools. That ship has sailed. But be aware of what you share. Do not pour your deepest secrets, your medical concerns, or your financial details into a chatbot owned by a corporation whose primary obligation is to its shareholders. Treat AI tools the way you would treat a brilliant but untrustworthy colleague. Use them, but watch what you hand over. Step 2. Diversify your tools. Right now, OpenAI and Microsoft dominate the consumer AI landscape, but they are not the only option. There are open-source AI models you can run on your own computer. There are alternative AI services built by companies with different structures and different priorities. When you rely on a single provider for a critical technology, you give that provider enormous power over your life. Spread your usage across multiple platforms. If one company changes its policies or raises its prices, you will not be stranded. Step 3. Follow the regulation battle. Right now, governments around the world are debating how to regulate artificial intelligence. The European Union has passed its AI Act. The United States is still working through various proposals. These regulations will determine whether AI companies are required to test their systems for safety before releasing them, whether they must be transparent about how their models work, and whether there are consequences for reckless development. These decisions will shape your future more than any election in your lifetime. Pay attention to them, write to your representatives, make your voice heard. Companies spend millions lobbying against regulation. Your vote and your voice are the only counterweight. Step 4. Invest in your irreplaceability. The jobs most at risk from AI are the ones that involve repetitive, predictable tasks, data entry, basic writing, simple analysis, routine customer service. If your work can be described as a set of rules that a machine could follow, it is only a matter of time before a machine does follow those rules, faster and cheaper than you can.
The way to protect yourself is to build skills that AI cannot easily replicate. Deep expertise in a specialized field, creative problem solving that requires understanding human emotion and context, leadership and relationship building, the ability to ask the right questions, not just provide answers. These are the skills that will still have value in a world where machines can do everything else. Step 5. Talk about this. The greatest advantage that companies like OpenAI have is public ignorance. Most people still think of AI as a toy, a fun tool that helps with homework and writes funny poems. They do not understand the scale of what is being built or the speed at which it is being built. Every time you explain this to someone, every time you share what you have learned today, you chip away at that ignorance. Public awareness is the foundation of public pressure, and public pressure is the only thing that has ever forced powerful institutions to change course. Step 6. Prepare for the economic shift. AI is going to create enormous wealth, but that wealth will not be distributed evenly. The companies that own the AI models will capture most of the value. If you have the ability to invest, even small amounts, in the infrastructure of AI, whether that is the chip makers, the cloud providers, or the energy companies powering the data centers, you position yourself on the winning side of the transition. This is not financial advice in the formal sense. This is pattern recognition. The same pattern that rewarded people who invested in the internet in the 1990s is repeating itself right now with AI. None of these steps will stop the race to AGI. Nothing you or I do individually will change the trajectory of trillion-dollar corporations. But these steps will determine whether you arrive at the future as a participant with agency or as a bystander who never saw it coming. The choice is yours, but you have to make it now. Not tomorrow, not next year, now.
I want to leave you with one final thought, a thought that has haunted every researcher, every engineer, and every executive involved in this story, even the ones who will never admit it publicly. There is a concept in artificial intelligence called the last invention. The idea is simple and terrifying. Once humans build a machine that is smarter than any human, that machine can design an even smarter machine, and that smarter machine can design another one, and another, and another. Each generation more intelligent than the last, each cycle happening faster than the one before. At some point, the process escapes human understanding entirely. We would be watching our own creation evolve beyond our ability to comprehend it, let alone control it. The scientists who first described this possibility did not call it a breakthrough. They called it a singularity, a point of no return, a horizon beyond which we cannot see. Now, I am not telling you this to frighten you. I am telling you this because the people building these systems know this possibility exists, and they are building anyway. Not because they have solved the safety problem, not because they have figured out how to maintain control, but because the financial incentive to be first is greater than the fear of what being first might unleash. That is the real story of OpenAI. Not a story about one company or two men or a courtroom battle over corporate structure. It is a story about a species standing at the edge of something it has never faced before, and the people who are supposed to be steering the ship fighting over the wheel instead of watching the road. Elon Musk and Sam Altman both claim they want to save humanity. Maybe, deep down, they even believe it, but their actions tell a different story. Their actions tell the story of two people who want to win, who want to be the ones standing at the podium when the most powerful technology in history is switched on. And in their race to get there first, the guardrails have been torn down, the safety teams have been scattered, and the brake lines have been cut. There's an old saying, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. You and I are the grass. We did not start this war, we did not ask for it, but we are standing in the middle of it,
and the ground is already shaking. So the next time you open ChatGPT, the next time you ask it to write an email or summarize a report or help you with your homework, I want you to pause for just 1 second, just one moment of awareness, and ask yourself, who built this and why, and what did they sacrifice to put it in my hands? Because the answer to that question is the nonprofit mission that was supposed to keep you safe. The answer is the safety board that was designed to protect you. The answer is every researcher who raised a red flag and was shown the door. That is what was traded so you could have a faster chatbot. And if that does not make you uncomfortable, then maybe that's the most frightening part of all. Because the moment we stop asking questions about the tools we use, we have already lost control of them. This is not the end of the story. The race is still running, the machines are still learning, and the outcome has not been written yet. But whether that outcome is a triumph or a tragedy may depend on one thing, whether enough people are paying attention. I hope, after today, you are one of them.